Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan, and today we're discussing college basketball in the landscape. A lot has happened since the last time I've made a video about college basketball, and this is a great time to talk about it. We're building up for tournament play. We're building up for a lot of conference championship stuff, conference tournaments, and obviously the main one, the NCAA tournament. And a lot of teams are making their push late to try to get into the tournament. It's going to be interesting to see what happens, but let's just discuss a lot of things. I'll be discussing teams that I trust heading into the tournament and teams I just don't. I do not have a lot of faith in heading into the tournament. And let's start off with stuff that's happened very, very recently. We just had a great game last night between Kentucky versus LSU. LSU played a good game, had some lucky bounces go their way, and at the end of the game, they had a shot. I have a ball here because, well, it's basketball. I like having the ball in my hand to just use whenever. But the guy goes up for a shot, gets blocked, kind of falls back into his hands. He tosses it up for a guy on LSU that's just right there. Kind of a lob, throws it up, makes it at the buzzer, no time left, wins by 1. That is a great win for LSU because they now have beat South Carolina at South Carolina, which is a very good win nowadays, and they beat Kentucky, which is always a good win. But this puts a lot of questions on Kentucky. Even though their defense didn't play bad, I wouldn't say they played bad, holding a team to 74, 75 points. Kentucky's won games by 20 by doing that. Let's not just say that. Like, they have beat a lot of teams by holding people to that score. Why, are they going to be able to play solid defense and then consistently produce offensively? Because their defense has got better. They showed that against Auburn. Their defense got way better. Winning at Auburn the way they did was very impressive to anyone's eye. Very impressive. But you have Rob Dillingham. He's a phenomenal player. He'll probably go number 1 in the draft this year. If I had a pick, I'd pick Rob Dillingham that high. But who else? Who else is going to make the plays? Who else is going to do all this stuff for this team? But it seems like when it comes to Kentucky, down the stretch, it's just Rob Dillingham making all the plays. But it's not just offensively you have to do it. It's defensively you have to make plays. And you had a great rotation, had a great block, but then you feel like you might have won the game, but you got to stay focused. Ball gets thrown back into play, wasn't in position, and they got to score out of it. That's more luck, but yeah, some skill comes with luck, and yeah, just right place, right time for LSU, wrong place, wrong time for Kentucky. And I don't trust Kentucky when it comes to the tournament. I really don't. I'm not a fan of John Calipari. I know a lot of people are. A lot of people love John Calipari. Not my guy. He has lost to, if you just look in his history, he has lost some games in situations that he probably should have won, with teams he should have won more with. He had the Tyrese Maxey team. They ended up losing to St. Peter's, I'm pretty sure. I forgot who exactly was on that team, but there was some NBA guys on that team. I remember Oscar Tshiebwe was on that team. He averaged like 16 and 15 that year. Insane. You had a year with Bam Adebayo, De'Aaron Fox, and Malik Monk. You lost to North Carolina. That off of a last-second shot in the Elite Eight. I know. But you have 2 All-Stars and a very good role player who's a perennial starter. You should be able to win games with that. You should be able to win a lot. When you look across on the other side of the tournament that year, you had teams like South Carolina and Oregon making it. Oregon had Dylan Brooks. That was their best guy. They made it to the Final Four, but Kentucky couldn't. Just saying. But yeah, a situation like that last year, who did they lose to exactly last year? I have to look that up. But oh my gosh, that's gonna annoy me. I should know. They didn't lose to Tennessee. I'll get back to that. But last year was kind of I feel like they could have done stuff, but they didn't. So yeah, let me be back real quick. Okay, I'm back. I've done my research and I found this article on CBS. It was Kansas State. Kansas State came back down by 8, and it's by Marquez Noel. Marquez Noel was phenomenal. Yeah, Keontae Johnson. They had a really good team for them. But the title of it was Kentucky's Sweet 16 drought continues as Kansas State outshines Sean Calipari's Wildcats. They lost by 6. So, yeah. Again, I just don't trust Kentucky a whole lot when it comes to this stuff. I don't trust Calipari. I don't trust that team. I do trust, what was a good team? Of course, you have to trust UConn. They just won the thing last year. They have notorious great NCAA tournament success. But if they can make the tournament, which they should, this team, I trust Gonzaga. I do trust a Mark Few-led team that can win a big game. They've been in big games a lot before. This is more of a newer team to this, but this guy's made it to 2 national title games. He knows what's up. He's been in here before. He's done his stuff. They had a big win at Kentucky that they put up. They just outscore them, which is not easy to do it against a team like Kentucky, but they did it. That shows a lot. And you can probably carry on, and the way you do it, you can probably carry that on into the tournament. Offense is very important in the tournament. Now, a team I slightly trust, I'm very iffy on trusting, is Virginia. If Virginia gets past the first round, they could probably make it to the Final Four, knowing how they are. But they are more likely to lose in the first round than lose in any other round, pretty much. Because I think in the past, 5 years, they've been eliminated in every... They've been eliminated in the first round, for all I can remember. But the one year they didn't get eliminated in the first round, they won the national title. With Ty Jerome, Kyle Guy, DeAndre Hunter, that group. So what's interesting, it's weird to see how everything plays out, but I do trust the coaching staff that they have, that Tony Bennett and their team has. It's just, again, I trust the coaching, Mark Few for Gonzaga, Tony Bennett for Virginia. Can you actually get a little bit of offense? Didn't look like that against Virginia Tech. Didn't look like it again. Did not look like that against Wake Forest at all. You went 1 from 11 from the free throw line. As a team, 1 for 11 for the free throw line as a player is egregious, let alone a team. That's wild. That's wild. But, excuse me. Some teams, again, I don't trust that are higher seeds that you would want to stay away from long-term, like tournament runs. Houston, I don't remember the last time they ever won a national title. Did they win in the 80s with the Akeem Olajuwon, the Clyde Drexler group? And they lost to NC State, and I think they might have lost to Georgetown with Patrick Ewing and them. And with this Houston group, they've had some bad Big 12 losses. They're really good at home, but you don't have any home games. So it's kind of like, yeah, I think they lost to Miami last year. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they lost to Miami. So Miami was a really good team last year. But Houston has this thing that they do lose to teams that not interfere, like they're not worse than them, like by a long shot. It's not like they're a 15 seed. Miami was like a 7 seed. But they're teams you probably should beat. And the furthest Houston's ever made it in the tournament run is the Final Four. And that's a good run, not to be mistaken. But that wasn't the COVID year. And it was mainly because of their defense, but they had an offensive guy like Quentin Grimes. Quentin Grimes was the guy mainly scoring a lot of their points. So they don't have a guy, in my opinion, that was like Quentin Grimes when he was there. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think they have a guy like that. I don't trust Houston in the tournament. Teams I'm iffy on heading into the tournament. This would be kind of funny to say. Duke and North Carolina. Both teams I'm very iffy about in this tournament. North Carolina has been looking a little bit better defensively recently. I guess Cormac Ryan has either been really good or really bad in a lot of these games. You don't like that. You don't like that inconsistency when it comes to the tournament. You need consistency. You really do. So, yeah. Again, RJ Davis is really good. Armando Bacot. You have a lot of good guys. Harrison Ingram. A lot of good guys. They made the championship game just 2 years ago. So this team can make it far. But if I like a guy like Caleb Love that was a streaky shooter, a team that could win you a game or cost you a game, just depending on how his shot was that night, I'm not sure that would hurt them, but when he's on, that was the main reason why they beat Duke to make it to the championship game. But the main reason they lost was because of Caleb Love and his inefficiency against Kansas. I watched all of that game. made me mad. But yeah, North Carolina doesn't have a guy that can just go crazy like that randomly. I mean, RJ Davis, I guess. Harrison Ingram, occasionally, but he's not like the way Caleb Love could do it. And then you have Duke. Duke, I don't know how to feel about Duke, really. They beat up at the teams that they really should. But when it comes to the teams that are medium level to possibly good, they are not really good against them, in my opinion, especially defensively to the levels of like other good higher seed teams are. I think Purdue is a good sign of that. Purdue usually, whenever they play a really good team, defensively they lock in a lot more. And they play pretty good defensively. UConn sometimes does that, unless they're on the road. UConn usually does that unless they're on the road. Marquette, similar thing. But yeah, Duke, they're a little bit more iffy in my opinion about that. In my opinion, they beat the crap out of Miami, but Miami's not that good this year. But your other teams they played, like North Carolina, they're going to have to play them again. But to keep at North Carolina, they couldn't stop Harrison Ingram. They couldn't rotate well. They couldn't get out of the right places like they should, like you expect a Duke team to do. So I really don't know how to feel about them. And if I had to pick a team that is, hey, watch out for this one, they could make a deep run type of thing and just throw people like, let me get my ball back real quick. Here we go. There's a team like that. I mean, you can't underrate San Diego State. They just made a title game last year. So if they make it, they're pretty good. Again, Gonzaga is one of those teams I think can make a run. I think they can get hot when they need to. But, excuse me, again, there's not many teams that you're looking at like, wow, they could make a really, really deep run that would shock the world. It kind of just happens. It honestly just kind of just happens. Like, no one would have said St. Peter's would have made it to the Elite Eight. No one was going to say Florida Atlantic was going to make it to the Final Four. No one was going to say that. So it kind of just happens. A team that just surprised people that have just not been watching college basketball is Iowa State. They're really good. They're 15-0 at home. That's very impressive. So if you've not been watching college basketball much, Iowa State is actually really good. Check them out. Watch them play. They had a good game against Houston. Kind of went how you'd expect. Houston holds on late when they have to. And yeah, I think Kansas State might be one of those teams that could surprise people. But yeah, Iowa State is kind of that team that's like, you know what? They might catch a lot of people off guard just because they aren't one of those like they're just not one of those main programs that would be really, really good. But if I did have to pick a team that would catch someone off guard, I mean, Texas A&M. Texas A&M did beat Florida. They're ranked top 25. Beat Tennessee. They're top 10. They beat some good teams. They beat some really, really good teams. Just they're inconsistent sometimes defensively. If they can fix that up for the tournament, they'll be able to tell in the SEC tournament how they will play probably in the tournament, the official one. It'll be interesting to see. I think they'll be able to take care of something. I think they'll be able to fix some of the problems that they have, put them together, and yeah, it's kind of my outlook on everything. I know this is a longer video, but I love talking about college basketball and everything like that. I need to watch more. I need to do all that. Alabama, Florida had a great game yesterday. A lot of really good games. Illinois, I don't trust them either. Illinois lost to Penn State because they choked free throws down the stretch of that game. And yeah, hope you have a great day. Stay safe, y'all. And if you want to put your opinion or whatever in the comment section, do that. Feel free to put whatever you want. And yeah, hope you have a great day. Stay safe, y'all. And God bless y'all.